Hi guys, and welcome to another update for the vertical board. So I'm going to take you through the different steps, the different stages I've gone through to get to this stage, and give you some better photos of it, because obviously you can't see it very well there. It's very dark and in the distance. So yeah, let's crack on. Right then, so this is how we started. Now the top bit, you'll notice, was painted before as a bit of a tester piece. But this is how it all starts. So this is me laying down the rust layer. So first off, I paint it black. Then I paint it with some really dark. Sorry, I spray it black. Spray it with some really dark brown. Then I stippled on with a sponge some brown and then some orange, and that's how you get to that stage there. This is a little bit of a close-up. You can see some of the different details I started adding before this point as well. There's lots of little rats hidden around the place, and a big tentacle there as well, just to add some character, if you know what I mean. There's actually 13 rats hidden on the board in different places, coming out of pipes. You'll see some on some pictures a little bit later. They're up on things. They're coming out the walls. It's really quite cool that I've managed to get them all in there. I'm really chuffed. So that was it there. Here we go. This is it with some of the railings on the stairs. Can't see any rats at that point, I don't think, so we'll move on. There we go. So I started painting it with the airbrush, and inevitably I ran out. Ran out of paint and had to wait for some more to be delivered, and I ended up in this stage here, which was pretty cool. People on the internet seem to quite like it. You can actually see there's a couple of rats down there on the floor. The one is coming out of the wall. You can see that there's a rat there up on that pipe, one on the tank. Can't see any others though. They're quite tricky to catch. Right, then this is it with basically the same thing, but with some of the railings on. You see, a lot of them haven't been painted. You'll see these ones here are just in their rust effect at the rust effect at the moment. So at this point, there was still quite a bit to be done. I actually haven't finished all of the railings yet. I think I've got about 10 left to paint, something like that. This is a little bit of a close-up. You can see here, on this side here, I was really running out of paint and putting it through the airbrush far too thin. So it ended up coming out like that. Oh, here we go. You can see up there, a little rat coming out from behind the panel on the wall. Cheeky devil. Right, let's carry on. Here we go. You can see the two rats on the pipe a little bit better. You also get a nice view of what I've done with the floor as well. So I've put a little bit of grit and rubble around the place. I've also put some sort of cables coming out of the walls occasionally. There's also spent shells on there as well, which I'm not sure you're going to be able to see on any of these videos. Any of these pictures, but we'll see. This is it here. This is a game that myself and Harry had, where we basically played a game when it was painted to this stage. So you can see it with the barrels on it and some miniatures basically, and see how it all looks. You can also see how the different sections of the board are separate as well. So there's a section there. You can see there's a clear line there between those ones as well. But I think it's the next picture. It'll all become... Oh no, here we go. This is me sort of weathering up just the top bits and seeing how they look. And there we go. So this is it with its full layer of paint on. And you can also see that I've painted the doors as well. I've done this funky hazard striping on the doors. There we go. There's another picture of the doors. Made a little bit of a boo-boo up there. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep the doors this black and gold and keep the frame the same colour as the walls. I mean, I was going to scratch off most of that paint anyway, and reveal the rust underneath, so it didn't really matter. But you get to see in the next couple of photos how that turned out. That's just another one there. Not really much going on. Oh, do you get to see more of the floor? You can see a few more of the wires there and some grit down there, but that's about it really. Oh, and I also did some work on making these bits that are destroyed look a little bit better. Added some joists in and some wiring and some collapsed floor as well. This here is the same thing again, but with the railings on. Sorry, there's a lot of photos in this part of the video, I'm afraid. Here we go. This is me having scratched it all up. You can see that I haven't actually touched any of the floors at this point. I've literally just scratched up the walls, revealing the rust from underneath. And it's really starting to take shape and start to look really worn like the underhive at this point. Right then, this is the stage where I've basically gone in and hit the floors and made them darker. And I've also, I don't know whether you can see it, but I've also added this shaded bit to the back walls as well. That was intentional. The idea being I was trying to give it some depth and make it look like, give a sense of grim and darkness to the whole piece. And I think it really achieves that. It adds a lot to the look of the board. And then this is after I've scratched the flooring up. I think you can see some spent shells up there. There's some more wiring down here, and you get a lovely view of how the doors are starting to look. You also got a nice view of this tank up here that's looking nice and worn, and the pipes as well have got most of their paint rubbed off, intentionally making them look more rusted. There's more work to be done on that, but it's looking quite nice. Right then, this is it with the railings put on. You can see I've painted a few more of the railings. Now, what you will notice at this point is I've actually left the tanks bare. They're still in that stage at the moment. I haven't decided what colour they're going to be. Obviously, I need to paint them that colour before I rub all the paint off and reveal the rust underneath and make them look properly worn in. So they look a bit out of place on some of these photos. Here's a close-up of one of the doors. You'll also notice that I've put handles on them as well. Well, it is a piece of hex rod and then a piece of small circular rod that gives it that nice door handle look. And with all the texture and the paint being rubbed off, I think it looks really nice. You can see the different layers of paint coming through. You can see the greys coming through on the black there, especially here. On all of the grey bits like the frame, they're really worn in. You can see that there's paint chipped, and the rust from underneath is really starting to come through. That's how most of the doors look. Oh, and then just as a final thing, which I'm going to leave you with, is I've actually started work on what's in the green hole. So I've tried to make it look like there's girders that have been split open and they're jutting out, and there's one up there, and then there's pipe work as well that's coming out. You can see that there's pipe there. And then this bit in the middle here is all going to be black and probably painted gloss so that it looks deeper. We'll see. I'm not sure at this point. I might put some details in there, I'm not sure. But I'm trying to make it look like there is actually a physical deep hole there. So yeah, I'm really liking the way that looks. You can really see some nice rust effects coming through there. Yeah, really enjoying it. And that is the last of the photos that I'm going to show you today. I've actually done a bit more work, and I'm actually working on something awesome, which again, if you're following my social media over here, you'll have already seen. But that'll be for a future video. I basically wanted to get you to see the stage of the board as it is. Again, sorry there haven't been as many videos as there should have been. It's not just that I've been working on this thing and not made videos because of that. Basically, it's a bad time of year for me, as many of you will know. There's a little bit at the end of this video, if you're curious as to why and you're not aware. And this has really helped me get through it, and I didn't feel like being in front of the camera either, and I didn't want to make a video where I'm just talking. Plus, I didn't really feel up to that, to be honest. So this is where I am, and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing the progress of how I've got there, because I've been taking pictures all the way along, and like I say, I've really enjoyed it, and it's kept my mind completely focused off something. So we are 2.5 months in now, I think, something like that, to this project. I've got the board almost done. There's bits and bobs that still need doing. I need to weather up the ladders. The ladders aren't weathered. One of the staircases hasn't been weathered at all. Loads of the railings haven't been done. Yeah, there's still quite a bit to do, and then I'm going to start adding cool things to it to sort of take it to that next level, which should be pretty cool. Right, I think that's all I've got to say. This one's probably been a fairly long video, so thank you very much if you've stayed to the end. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.